Hi everyone, I'm Marlow Felton.
And I'm Chris Felton.
And today we're going to share with you the 4 money personalities. And we all have a money personality. And if you want to read our blog, follow the link and you can take the test to find out what your money personality is. And we have a dominant money personality, but that doesn't mean that we're all just one money personality. Oftentimes people will be a blend of these 4 or a combination of those. And
That's funny.
He's funny. So my husband, Chris here, is a little under the weather. And he's poor baby. So if he starts coughing.
So Marlow talks the whole time.
No.
If you're ready.
Yeah, I am ready.
I sound like I smoked a carton of
Yeah.
Marlboros.
He really didn't just finish smoking a carton of Marlboros. He has a sore throat and all that.
Allergies, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all don't care about that.
Yeah, they
all
don't
good.
care. They just want to know what their money personality is and what it means. So it's important to identify your money personality in relation to how you handle money, think about money, and also understand your spouse's money personality to know best how to relate to them. So, you may have heard of these personality styles. It's not really anything new. What we're doing is sharing their tendency towards money. So we're just taking it a step further in how these different quadrants of personalities relate to money. So the first one is the controller. Now, do you know a controller? So nothing wrong with being a controller. I am a self-proclaimed. I realize that I am a controller. So what that means, controllers like structure.
They control. Hence.
Which means.
Hence the title.
Controller. So which means that they probably are the best person to control the finances. Now that doesn't mean that they don't share or discuss what's going on with the partner, but it's probably best that the controller manage the finances. So they crave structure, and they're usually good with a budget because the budget is a form of structure. So these people are, generally, just very A-type people, and it's important to understand if your partner is a controller and you're not, there need to have some certainty with finances. See, there it goes. Have some certainty with some finances and have structure with finances, and absolutely understand what is going on with the finances. They do not like to be left out in the dark, especially when there's money involved. So keep that one in mind, right, honey?
Yep.
Wow, he's
well, no, I mean
thrilling.
today. When I handed the money, the control of the finances over to you, that was a great day, right? So,
and he's serious about that.
Yeah.
Actually.
So, she wanted to control, and I kind of wanted to hold on to it, and I mean, all this is it's all good. It's just when your ego gets in the way of things, because there's self-sabotaging behaviors with all these.
Right. Yeah. So there's positive and negative.
So
for sure.
If you're coming from the highest good of all, it's great. But if you're coming from like a need to be right or a need to control because whatever, and it my way or the highway, I mean that doesn't work. So controllers are good. I mean most CEOs are controllers. I mean most leaders are controllers, and I'm not a controller in the finance area of what we do. I'm more of a controller leader in our business, and so you're gonna have different personalities with different things, right? So controllers are they lead, and so if you don't have leadership, nothing's gonna work. So somebody in the relationship kind of has to lead the charge,
right? From a
and
financial
you guys
standpoint.
work together. So whoever that controller is, that's usually the person.
Yeah. So Chris mentioned that the controller is driven by ego. And, not that that's good or bad, it's just that that's what they are generally led by their ego. Now, this is the danger zone for the controller, is that they can be a spender as a way to feed their ego too. So if they're going to overspend, it's going to be because of their ego. So they kind of have to keep their ego into check. So that's the controller. So the next money personality is the promoter. So the promoter is usually the life of the party and likes to be liked. So they're very social, very charismatic. They tend to be very charismatic leaders. And actually my husband here, even though he doesn't seem like it right now because he's sicky, is very charismatic. When I do that, it makes him itch. So that's why he looks like he's repulsed by me, but he's really not.
Partially.
But he's very charismatic and likes to be liked. So for the promoter, the danger zone, as in the Chris Felton danger zone, is his need to be liked can make him overspend. So wanting to be the life of the party and all that kind of thing has gotten him into trouble before, and that he knows that that's his natural tendency. So the promoter can overspend with their need to be liked. They're not necessarily budget and structure driven. They're a little bit more free flowing. However, very, very great salespeople. Usually very successful because they are very charismatic. So their ability to earn money is usually pretty good because charismatic people tend to do well in life because they have lots of friends and know lots of people and are very connected. Anything else you want to add about that?
Woo!
Yay!
No. Well, no. I mean, and you got to look at the money stories that can sabotage all that stuff. Like the controller can use money, like, I mean, they can hold it over people, right? Or they can use it as a way to manipulate people, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where, controllers can go awry. Promoters often have a story that, well, you can't take it with you, right? And, they can fall into the either or of having fun or saving, right? And so their whole thing is, well, I want to have fun and that's it. Mm-hmm. And and I did well and I deserve it. So so you just need to look at where you are, and then what's the money story that can lead, because like she says, there's pros and cons to all of it, but what's the story behind wherever you shake out that's going to lead you to sabotage behavior. And I just used to spend money to look good, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was my unconscious sabotage story. So there's great parts of it, but what's the part that gets you into trouble?
Right. So if you're married to a promoter, just know that they are driven by fun. They're motivated by fun and the need to be liked. So anything that sounds like more fun is going to motivate them. So just be aware of that. So if you're just joining us, I'm Marlow Felton, and this is my sick husband, Chris Felton. He's a little under the weather. He's a promoter and very charismatic, even though you wouldn't necessarily know it right now. And he's very funny. So we're going over the 4 money personalities. And if you want to take the test to uncover your money personality, follow the link and take the test in my blog to find out which is your money personality, and also what is your spouse's, your partner's money personality, so you know how to relate best to them. So the next money personality, the third one, is the analyzer. So the analyzer, oh gosh.
Love you.
Love you long time, but no.
Not.
So because I'm a controller, Chris is a promoter, the analyzer kind of drives us a little crazy because we don't overanalyze things. The analyzer, very good at a budget, very analytical, definitely pros to that. They can often be a good person to manage the household finances because they are very analytical, good with numbers and spreadsheets, and they'll put a fancy budget and everything together. However, the analyzer has a need not to be wrong. So they're very afraid of being wrong. And for that reason, they often don't take action. So they're very slow to take action because they analyze things. And the negative to this is oftentimes they can miss opportunities, overlook opportunities because they're in this analytical mode. So they can be risk adverse, to a fault because of their fear of being wrong. So, once again, pros and cons. I don't know if there's anything you want to add about the analyzer.
Yeah, it's just something came to me. I can't remember the Rick Edelman, the Ordinary People, Extraordinary Wealth guy. In his book, I think it was in his book, he actually talks about a lady that was a analyzer, and she, they met, and she was so proud of her folders and her, multicolored highlighter. Like, she just had everything like tracked to the penny, and she was so proud of her deal. But they were sucking exhaust financially, right? Like, she was tracking everything, and she was all analytical about it, but she was so far in the weeds that they had, no big thinking. They had no goals. They had nothing, right? So she would just, they'd spend money and pay bills, and money would come in, and she'd, oh, good, and she'd, do her deal, and she showed up, and he made all these recommendations of like, hey, where do you want to be 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And she didn't move on any of it because, she just couldn't make a decision. So indecision will crush you financially. You definitely, you can't hesitate and be indecisive and get financially free. It doesn't happen. And so with analyzers, you just need to, sit down and, the old fashioned, Ben Franklin T-chart, like pros and cons, plus and minuses, like, just think it through.
And make a decision.
Or, when I meet with an analyzer, I'm always like, what's the three things you need to see? And then you just got to put kind of a deadline into making decisions. So analyzers are great because they're kind of all over it and they love all the detail and stuff, but they get caught and they get in paralysis by analysis and they don't move.
Right. So actually the analyzer is the opposite of the promoter. And I mentioned earlier, the promoter is usually, really good at earning money because they're very outgoing. They tend to not analyze anything or not analyze nearly as much. And, they're going to just be ready to take action right away without necessarily knowing all the details. And obviously there could be some downside to that too. But the analyzer is the complete opposite, and so sometimes they're so busy analyzing.
Those two kind of like.
Yeah, so
heads.
So if you're a promoter and married to an analyzer, realize that you're really in opposition about how you think about money and what your money personality is, and so the analyzer is so busy analyzing and not taking action that it can be a detriment to their earning potential. Because they get paralyzed, they don't take the action that the promoter does. But obviously, pros and cons to both. So that's the analyzer. And so then the next money personality is the supporter, and the supporter is the complete opposite from the controller. So I would be a controller, and so the supporter kind of drives me a little crazy, even though they're very nice people.
They're all about
love. And
love.
I'm all about hate.
Love.
True love. No, I'm not about hate. I'm kidding, of course.
But they just want to be loved. And I'm thinking about all our supporter friends right now.
We do have some really good supporter friends. We love you. You are so nice.
You deserve it.
You deserve it.
We love you.
We love you.
Give me a hug now.
Let's hug. So the supporter
you got a lot of supporter friends.
I do have a lot of supporter friends, and that's very interesting because they're the complete opposite. Maybe there's some balance being created there. However, so the supporters are all about love and family, and they spend a lot of time taking care of other people. That's what makes them.
You're a supporter with your dog. And your kitty cat.
Well, true.
She kind of.
True.
She's a supporter.
I definitely nurture and mother those animals. Definitely, for sure. I have some very, very well taken care of animals. And I don't know where she's going now. But anyway, so the supporter is motivated by love and family, anything that's going to protect their family, give their family a better life, that's going to motivate them. And obviously that's a great characteristic to have, to support people, take care of people. There's some wonderful people that I'm friends with that are like that. It's a great characteristic. However, the downside is that they often don't take care of themselves. And that comes into their financial life. They don't necessarily pay attention to their own finances, take care of themselves financially first in order to take care of other people. And it's often to a detriment. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, and sometimes, the whole when you're in an airplane, put the air mask on yourself first. Like, they're so busy putting the air mask on everybody else, so to speak, and taking care of everyone else that they get run down, their energy goes down, they don't self-nurture, they don't take care of themselves, and they often don't appreciate themselves like they should. And so when they have a lack of appreciation for themselves, sometimes it impacts their ability to make money because they don't really feel that they deserve it, or it's kind of a necessary evil, or whatever. So not pigeonholing everybody, but a lot of supporters, I know a lot of them that are they're healers and they're coaches, and they're phenomenal people, but sometimes they really struggle to make money. And they don't charge like they should. They lower their prices, they discount, they just because they're looking for love.
Looking for love.
They
also, supporters also tend to be avoiders of money, and really don't pay much attention to their financial situation because they're so focused on taking care of other people. So that's something to be aware of, and avoiding money and avoiding money conversations and saying, oh, that's their thing, and I'm not going to pay attention to any of that. They still need to understand what's going on and be involved, at least in that. So supporters, just be aware to take care of yourself, because we love you and we want you to take care of yourself because you're so busy taking care of other people. We love that about you, but take care of yourself too. And don't avoid money or understanding or having some conversations around money. It can be extremely helpful. Is there anything else you wanted to add about that?
Nope, I think they're done with us.
No, they're not. They're never done with it. We had I don't know if you saw Maggie down here. She was licking our hands under the table.
She's a supporter.
She is a supporter. Our dog is definitely a supporter. She's all about love.
Bottomless bucket of love.
She is. So thanks for joining us. And I added a link so you can click on that to read our blog and take the test to uncover your money personality. It's important to know what motivates you from a financial perspective and what motivates your spouse, so that you can better understand what motivates them from a financial perspective. So click the link, read our blog, and thanks for joining us today, and have a great weekend.